So all day I've been trying to calculate where the other vertical beam would go for supporting the structural ridge thing of the roof. It was a little easier on the other side of the tiny house because that's all open, but then on this side I have the bathroom and I have the kitchen, and I don't want a beam just cutting right through it, and obviously I can't stick the beam where I'm planning on putting the oven or having it be in the very center of the very small kitchen. So first I had to sketch out where on the trailer the cross beams are. This is the first thing I sketched out on graph paper. It's the trailer. And so if I'm wanting to put in a vertical beam, it has to ideally be directly on top of one of these metal cross beams to be the most supported, because it's going to be holding up basically half of the roof. Each of the vertical beams, there's going to be two, and each one of them is going to be holding up about half of the weight of the roof. So today I spent my time sketching out a floor plan with these cross members, and then I had to work on the kitchen stuff. So first I had to calculate the depth of the counter by looking for a small sink that was kind of a shorter depth, because I want my counters to not only be shorter because I'm short, but also be a bit shallower because it's just going to be a tiny space. So first I had to look for a sink that was small. Then I had to look for an oven that was small and also propane powered, and then calculate the depth in there so then I would know where this line was. And then I had to look up a propane fridge online, and all these things just take me on tangents because there's so many options, and then I get caught up in like decision paralysis. And so finally I came to the point of this propane fridge, which allowed me to calculate where the bathroom door is. And this is the center line where the vertical beam needs to go. This is the line separating the wall, separating the bathroom from the kitchen. So I'm thinking if I stick the vertical beam right here on the inside of the bathroom wall, it's not going to be that in the way. I still have a 26-inch opening for the bathroom door. The shower is going to be all the way over here, so the ridge isn't going to be in the way of that. There's plenty of space for the oven to have stuff there. There's room over here for the stairs and all that stuff. So hopefully this is the winning design for that. So now I can sketch in the ridge beam, but also now I'm going to have to calculate where the beam goes up through the second loft, because now it's likely going to be directly in the middle of the second loft, and then it's going to cut right in the middle of all the usable space. But that second loft isn't going to be used as much as the primary loft, the sleeping loft. It's going to be like an extra space for work stuff or whatever. And so I feel like instead of compromising workable space in the kitchen with a vertical ridge, I'm going to just have to put it in the bathroom and have it be taking up space in the loft. But this is the compromises I have to make with like being adamant about having the kind of roof I want, a gable roof instead of a shed roof, like a monoslope roof. I don't want that. I want the high point in the middle of the loft instead of like a high point and then a low point, and then when you're facing directly at it, it's all asymmetrical. And being adamant that I want cantilevered lofts, which means that I need vertical beams instead of just having vertical beams right at the edges, like each exact edge of the house on either side. And so because I'm adamant about those two things, it means I have to deal with some things being less ideal. So that has been my work today.